Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have the 761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers. This is features Morgan Freeman as not a narrator. Usually you see him as a narrator for penguins or some other nature documentary. No, this is from the History Channel. It is a documentary about in the History Channel style. It's not National Geographic. It's from 2023. It says it's one season. It's really just one episode, and that episode is an hour and 24 minutes long. So yeah, it is basically a documentary that is not just Morgan Freeman talking about what happened, and we'll get to that in a minute as to why this is relevant to him. Historically, but also personally, because he knows he had three uncles, two of which he knows for sure had been in the European battles during World War II, and he was looking to find out about what happened with them. So it's kind of one of those types of documentaries where he's being interviewed for what he wants to find out, but at the same time, he's also talking to the people who were part of the 761st Battalion, which his uncles were not part of. They were in that theater of war, but yeah, not connected to that. But it's still, this is a large historic piece, mainly because it was an all black tank battalion. Now, if you've seen any kind of documentaries about black soldiers in World War II, it's never a great story. It's never usually an uplifting story, because the amount of things that they had to go through in order to even be recognized as men who could be worthy of fighting in a war was a struggle in itself. At that time in World War II, even though America was doing its best to stay out of the war until it was brought to our doorstep at Pearl Harbor in December 6th, 1941. Sometimes dates slip out of my head. But, until it was brought to our doorstep, and we suddenly were very patriotic, wanting to fight against fascism, fight against authoritarianism, against people who were trying to take over the world and abuse anyone that they saw lesser than them and destroy them, commit genocide. These days, all that's totally cool with our leadership in America. Isn't that awesome? But and being anti-fascist is somehow not good, apparently. But back then, your great-grandparents or your grandparents were anti-fascist warriors against Germany, the white supremacist division of government of that country, and their allies in Italy and Japan and whatever else they took over at the time. But in America, we were no less racist and bigots and everything else, because, well, it was a great honor to be a white man who went to battle for World War II, while many of them who were wealthier more than likely got little kind of cushy jobs off to the side. Plenty of young men, and not Steve Rogers, although he is used as an example, Captain America, did everything they could to just sneak into service. Others tried to avoid service, but others, even though they were part of a country that treated them, with the people and the government, treated them like less than human beings, they still wanted to do their part. They wanted to serve their country. To me, it doesn't seem like a really great thing. Hey, you're not a whole human. 3/5 at best. And, with all the Jim Crow laws in place and everything else, just, you know what? I don't think I'd really be raring to go wanting to fight for my country, but it is their home. It was their home. It was the place that they cared about, and they knew that if they did not help others overcome this fascist invasion, that it would someday show up at their doorstep. A lesson we have not learned again. But in this case, the story of the 761st Tank Battalion, along with the Red Tails, there's a movie on here that came from Lucasfilm. It's also on here. It's not great, but it is still a good depiction of what it was like to be an airman in a as yet unfounded Air Force in the U.S. Military forces. In World War II. It's men who were willing to put their lives on the line for our nation and were rebuffed at every point until, and even when they were accepted, they were put under the command of Southern-born leaders who would keep them in line because they were either lazy or couldn't be controlled or whatever racist BS you want to throw in there. And so they went to war and became one of the most notoriously skilled tank battalions on the ground. Patton, General Patton, who was also Colonel Patton. Why am I just doubting myself here? It's General Patton. Yes, General Patton. He was a racist man of his day as well. And had no interest in. By the way, you're going to hear the N-word a few times in this, but all from black men. just so you're aware, he was not that great of a guy when it came to race relations, but he had heard some good things about these guys, and when he realized that they could do a whole lot better than most other men of other skin tones. He said, "I don't care. You kill some Jerrys. I don't care what your color your skin is. Go for it." So yeah, if you don't know, Jerry's was one of the nicknames they gave a certain mustachioed leader's army. So yeah, all this to say is that it wasn't just about this isn't just about the men who served. It's about the men, how they were able to be allowed to serve, and how they were treated when they returned. Because it's not enough to serve your country with great honor and incredible skill and things that. There was people who were rear echelons that were white, that barely saw the action, that got greater recognition and medals from the president and everybody else than these guys who were literally on the front lines. Because of the color of their skin. Because of the color of their skin. How ridiculous is that? I realized, oh, well, that was, 80 years ago, whatever. I don't care. Are we that crappy a collection of human beings that we were like that then, and we can excuse that? That was 80 years ago. We didn't know better. We knew better. And now we have today, and we're not much better in some parts of this country. Come on. So anyway, this is a lot of people discussing their stories, the stories of their fathers. Morgan Freeman goes and visits a few different people. An actual veteran, one of them was an actual surviving member, still alive at the point. I don't know if he is still alive at this point, but most of our World War II veterans are pretty up there in age. I know a few myself but they're in their 90s. We're running out of them, let's just say. So if you want some old stories, good or bad, about that era, straight from the men who were there and the women, they weren't in combat, but At least not the American ones. But a few Russians that were going up against the Nazis. And yeah, they did some pretty crazy things. Yeah, it's a whole different story. How they did not make a movie about that yet, I have no idea. But yeah, this is you get to see Morgan Freeman discovering things about his family that he did not realize, the fates of his uncles, and the stories of the men, the original Black Panthers, who were there, and all the things they went through. It's absolutely worthwhile checking out if you care about history. If you're interested, if you watch all the other war documentaries, or your dad does, your uncle, or your grandpa, or whatever it is, they're obsessed with these. This is another one. And it's not just about glorious battles and tremendous defeats or anything else. This is real people that were fighting not just a battle in Europe or the Pacific. It is men who face battles at home just for the privilege of fighting for our country. So definitely give this a shot when you get a chance. It's History Channel, so yeah, they're pulling in a bunch of stuff from there. I don't know the time frame of how long these stick around, because I imagine they would eventually revert back to the History Channel at some point. But definitely give it a shot while you get a chance. And I already know what tomorrow's is, because tomorrow is Monday, and I had it memorized, but I said too many words. It's a shark one. It's our weekly shark thing. We're almost done with all the Shark Fest things. It's Shark Island something. Dang it. Hold on. Take a look at my stuff. Just see if you can pick out how many video game things. Let's see. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Shark Island Showdown. I know I should write these things down, but I don't. And no edits. No cuts. Just take in the glory. Oh, see this? I set this up for you. Oh, it's for me. I feel like I need to play some video games. You can't see this, but this is a whole arcade. But anyway, Shark Island Showdown is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.